Madison Central football coach Mark Sanders. And, Coach, big game this past Friday in the Roy Kidd Bowl. Tough loss to Lexington Catholic. But talk about what you saw from your team this past Friday.
Well, saw a lot of heart, saw a lot of passion, saw a lot of big plays. We made several big plays throughout the game that could have been games turning around if we hadn't made some mistakes. But we also saw some youth, saw some inexperience, saw some penalties as a result of that. And it was a very polished Lexington Catholic offense especially for a game one. I think they're an awfully good football team. I think that we're a pretty good football team as well. I think we've got a chance to come out and show that we're a pretty good football team in the coming weeks, and hopefully we will.
Defense made some big plays, but again, everybody knows they expect that from your defense no matter who you guys are playing. Talk about some of the players that stepped up for you this past weekend on defense.
Well, a lot. I mean, really a lot of players. We had the big strip play by Snap down there on the goal line. That was a huge play at the time. Levi Gaston step up and made tons of plays, and probably the biggest highlight of the night would have been the block punt. The Cox boys played very well at defensive end and was really given a lot of fits. That's probably more pressure than that quarterback has been under in quite some time. So, had a lot of guys step up. Jackson Jewett and Colby Jackson played well at the inside linebacker spots. We had several guys step up and play well defensively. We had several guys. Holberg had a very Holberg-like game on offense, and we're starting to get some of our receivers going as well. So, bits and pieces here and there, but we got to put the whole package together.
Talk about your quarterback position. Obviously, it's hard with Humphreys having to play defense to get him a lot of reps, but Derek Miller looked good at times. Not a lot of consistency, but when he had the ball on the money quite a bit during that game.
Yeah. I mean, Derek does a very good job. He's a good passer. He has a decent arm. And just most importantly, I think both guys continue to show that neither one of them really separated themselves yet. It does make a difference. I think Kenton is such a vital part of our defense, and I've been very open about that before. But we have to kind of, and that's how the decisions were made on Friday, kind of with the flow of the game, and it was taking so much out of Kenton, on the defensive side of the ball. We went with Derek for a while, and we're still going to play both of them, in the right time, but we're going to try to pick and choose our times and make sure they are the right times, and we feel very good about both of them, and the best thing that I can say about both those kids, Derek and Kenton they handled the situation so well, because they're pulling for one another, they're encouraging one another. If we pull one and put the other one in, they understand that they haven't necessarily done anything wrong. It's just it's time to get the other guy reps. And I'm really proud of those two guys for handling the situation in such a mature way. And I also have no doubt that when one of them kind of separates himself from the other one, that they'll handle it accordingly, and everything will be just fine, because both those guys are team players. They're doing a great job.
That's awesome to have those guys supporting each other. Talk about the game this upcoming week. You've got Woodford County on the road. What can we expect from the Yellow Jackets?
Well, Dennis Johnson, Coach Johnson's son. Of course, Dennis played in the NFL, and they have a wealth of knowledge between those two. Alvis is pretty much a legend with Harrodsburg circles, and had a great coaching career and been all around state in different various jobs. But they're going to be aggressive. They're going to come after you on defense. That's been a calling card of Alvis Johnson teams, and now it looks like Dennis Johnson teams as well. So. They're going to get after you. They're going to blitz. They're going to probably try to line up, and they'll mix up their coverages. They're not going to exclusively, at least from what we've seen on film, play man to man and blitz every down. But they're certainly going to blitz their share, and they'll mix up their coverages a bit. Offensively, they look to try to throw it around a little bit with some inside zone running game and some outside zone running game. They do some things, trying to get their. A couple of their big plays have been some outside zone type plays where the receiver comes down and cracks, and that's something we're going to be watching out for, especially with one of the rules changes that's been emphasized this year. So, but they've got a couple of different quarterbacks like we do. One of them seems to throw it a little bit better than the other one. They've got 2 or 3 really, really nice athletes, and one of the quarterbacks is a nice athlete. So they've got a lot of ability, and certainly. They can hurt you if you're not sound in what you're doing.
So what will the Indians need to do to get a win this Friday on the road to Woodford County?
Well, biggest thing we can do right now is focus on ourselves and where we're at in the process. I think we've been talking about that as a staff, and just getting ourselves right. We ran for 175 yards the other night against Catholic, and we did not block a lot of plays correctly. We had a lot of mental mistakes and assignment mistakes that did not show up, perhaps in the average, look. But when you go back and you look at the film and you really, you break down each individual position, there's a lot of things we need to clean up. So, but the bright side is we rushed for 175 yards and didn't perform from a standpoint of execution very well at all. So we certainly feel like that we need to keep going and focus on us and just try to make sure that we are, perfecting the things that we do. And, as that carries forward, I think that'll take care of most of our issues.
All right, guys, well, good luck, Coach. Again, guys, you can catch the Indians football game this Friday on 1340 WEKY and Y92.5 WEKY. Indians taking on Woodford County. Pregame at 7:10 and kickoff at 7:30.